Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone, and today we're going to be talking about a success formula. What is it? And it's all about mastering our self-belief and confidence. You know, as an educator, I know that confidence and believing in ourselves are so essential for us to really achieve what we want in life. And I have a special guest today, Havilah Malone, who's going to join us. But before I'll bring her on, I want to play a video that she has done that's truly inspiring. It just helps us to really understand how much power we have inside of us. She's inspirational. And I'm going to play this video so that you can really get a glimpse on what she's all about, and she inspires others.
Time is precious. It is something that is fleeting. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day that goes by, what are we doing with our time? What legacy are you leaving on this planet right here, right now?
There is a power in her voice that you can almost feel to your soul.
You know, the average human lifespan is 28,782 days. 28,782 days.
How often do we give up on our dreams because we're not getting the result that we want in the moment?
We have the choice to write our own story. We look in the mirror sometimes and we're like, you know what? You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not talented enough. You don't have enough information. Those are the stories we tell ourselves when we are powerful beyond measure. The opportunity is everywhere. It is everywhere. Will you seize it? Will you grab hold of it? Will you step up into it when it presents itself to you? Every step that you take, every part of your journey is important. Even sometimes the back slides. Why? Because the pain that we go through sometimes also helps to prepare us for the platform that we're going to stand on.
Her presence, she's so just strong in herself. You can tell she's a woman who knows herself and is comfortable being with anybody.
Literally, we have gold within us. Those gifts, those talents, all of those things, those dreams that you have, those aspirations, they are literally waiting to be mined.
Please welcome author and motivational speaker, and when she isn't writing or speaking, she's tending to her massive collection of dolls.
Miss Louisiana Universal, Havilah Malone. She's an incredibly inspirational woman. She has a collection of over 300 Barbie dolls.
I collected Barbies for about 20 years, and the Barbies for me stood for all the things I wanted in life, because I didn't feel, from the inside, I didn't feel confident, and I didn't feel beautiful, but I was able to look at these dolls and kind of see what I wanted.
Yeah,
and
you lived through the dolls.
Exactly, and I was living inside of a box, and that stemmed from my own experience being molested as a child.
As I would look at those dolls, I would see all of these possibilities. Possibilities that I wanted, but I didn't see in myself. And so you can never be what you can't see.
The strength that she carries and her ability to connect with everybody she comes in contact with.
Her passion was contagious. She sparkled. She's just a dynamic, passionful woman who's got a lot to say of quality, and she's inspiring.
That story that I kept telling myself over and over again about how I wasn't good enough was a lie. We lie to ourselves all the time because you do have what it takes. You are good enough. You do have the skill sets, and whatever you don't have, you can get it.
Does she sound like a motivational speaker?
She is terrific.
She was put on this earth to really be able to help other women and people in general to really be able to recognize what they can achieve, her part in helping that come about.
So I encourage you to not just look at the people who are doing the things that you want, not just watching them, but go for it. Be proof of what is possible in life, because you can. No matter where you've come from, no matter what you've gone through, you got this.
I don't think I have to say any more, everyone. Welcome, Havilah Malone, to the stage. Hello, Havilah. Welcome so much. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are amazing. What beautiful work you've done. And, you know, like I said, you're so confident. You have to share with the world. You weren't always like this, right?
No.
Tell us about yourself. Tell us, you know, I love the fact that we both have something in common, that we studied the Napoleon Hill work. So we know this stuff works, right? Where's my book? Here it is. Here's my book.
Talk about self-confidence. The self-confidence formula from this book was a game changer for me. And help me in so many ways, because at the end of the day, it's what we believe about ourselves that becomes our experience, becomes our reality, attracts to us the people, the situations that we will encounter, and the opportunities that we will or will not have because of what we believe about ourselves. And I'm a firm believer that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we come here intact with everything that we need, and we are worthy simply because we exist. But we go through things in life, hardships. For me, it was being molested in my youth that really messed with my view of myself and my belief in myself, and seeing myself as less than. And I felt, you know, shameful and dirty and just very low. And I wanted to stay hidden in some ways, because I'm like, if people knew the truth about me, would they really accept me? Could they even love me? You know, this shameful person. And at the end of the day, even through all of that, I was still worthy, but I didn't know it. But through utilizing tools that are available in Think and Grow Rich, and a variety of other tools, to be able to help reprogram my mind so that I could start to see myself as worthy, see myself as who and what I really am, who and what we all really are, which are powerful beings, worthy beings of having anything we want in life. And so it's definitely been a journey getting to that place, but a beautiful journey. And I'm so grateful, even as hard at times that it has been, I'm so grateful that I went on it, because it was worth it.
Yes. And, you know, you opened yourself to receive and go through the change and the transformation, right? And you said you had to reprogram yourself, reprogram your mind, because, you know, we do come into this world. We're so pure, so precious, right? We feel so confident. I mean, a baby can literally jump off the roof and think he's going to be Superman, right? And then we go through life experiences, and
we get fearful.
Right? It's like we're born swimmers, but yet, you know, all of a sudden we don't know how to swim anymore. Right. Because we put on those things and we're told, no, don't go near the water. So now we had to learn how to swim again.
You have to realize, wait. I do have sea legs. Wait. I came into the world doing this. Why am I holding myself back, or allowing other people's beliefs or opinions hold me back? Like that, whatever I take into this consciousness, into my mind, into my heart, becomes a part of who I am or how I show up. Because, and it can limit us or it can expand us. So it's kind of like, there's that old story about the two wolves, and it's like the good wolf and the bad wolf, and then the kid asks like, well, which wolf wins? Well, it's whichever one you feed. So whichever thing, are you feeding your faith, or are you feeding your fear?
You can only feed one at a time.
And here's the thing I love, it was in Joel Osteen's book, I Declare, he said something that was like an epiphany moment for me. And he basically said, fear and faith require the same thing, for you to believe in an outcome that has not yet happened. So why choose fear? It was like, that's so true. Like, it hasn't even happened yet. So why are we already creating a story about how, well, it's not going to work because it didn't work for so-and-so and did, but that's not you and that's not your situation. And if you infuse yourself with a confidence and belief in what you want, then the universe literally magnetizes itself to be able to bring all the resonant frequencies and all of the pieces together to give you what you want. But you have to be in alignment with that. And that starts with our belief. And that starts with what we say about ourselves. And that starts with what we think about ourselves. And so all of it becomes a part of a formula, a part of a cycle that will either yield us what we want or yield us what we don't want. But we're the ones who are in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. You know, it's understanding how the mind really works. You know, I went, and you as well, you have a beautiful resume. You've accomplished a lot. You went to school. You've done lots of studies like I've done. Did you ever learn about the subconscious mind before you entered this work?
Oh my God. And it's great because I graduated from college at 19. I got 2 degrees, one of which was in psychology. And still, the things that I have learned through self-study, through my own self-development, I have brought me so much further in my education and my knowledge base of applicable tools that would really help to change the trajectory of my life. So it was definitely not, I think the foundation and the base that we get in traditional schooling it was designed to put us into a worker bee box. It was designed for us to be able to learn how to follow rules and to fit into a system and a society that could utilize our skills and talents for its own purposes. It was not designed for us to unlock our human potential and understand who and what we really are and how to tap into that. And so that's something that unfortunately we have to pursue on our own. So our education does not stop after school ends.
Right.
Like, it just begins after school.
And if we had to say so, I think this would be a great foundation as, college 101 class, so that, it can truly help us to propel in the careers that we want to move into with confidence, and not worry about having the fear that, we have to be in competition, right? Because that's what we see today is like, why are we scared? Is because we're actually looking at the outside and comparing. We're not looking, like you said, we have gold stored inside of us. So we're not even looking inside of us. We're looking at all the gold that's outside of us that we can't have.
You're like, wait, there's this pie and the pie is only so big, so I have to get mine before they get theirs, because then there won't be enough left over. And that comes from a scarcity mindset. That comes from just a consumer mindset as opposed to a creator mindset. And we are creators. We are creative beings. And so it's not about the pie that currently exists. We can create a bigger pie. And so when you understand that, then you don't have to go into something with a competitive spirit and a sense of scarcity. I mean, there's a healthy competition as of like, well, as I grow, you grow, because we make each other better, and I can see if you go further, then that shows me what's possible. So now I can go further and then I can pass that up and then you can see what's possible. So in that way, there is something that's healthy about seeing someone and being desirous of, where they're going, but for your own path, not because you want what they have because, that's the only one. No, we will make more. We will create more. And then there will be more.
Of course, and we come with our own special, unique gifts. Let's add that, because no, we cannot be in competition with anyone. If we are understanding we are unique creators, I always say to my clients, like, we have all different fingerprints for a reason, because you have a gift that I don't have. It's in your DNA, and we have to remember that. We know it, but we have to remember that.
And that's like the whole journey, is really remembering, because we came here with everything inside of us. It's already there. I was talking to a friend the other day about, like, okay, we all go on our own hero's journey, where we think the thing that we want is out there somewhere. And it's almost like the book The Alchemist, where he's like, he goes on this long epic to try to find this treasure, and come to find out it was right there in his own backyard. So he goes all around the world, but in going down that path and going through that journey, we get to discover things and learn things and unlearn things and have experiences of ourselves and each other. And so that's the exciting part. That's the gift in it all. And even the challenges are really gifts. Like, there's nothing that you actually need to go out and get. You already have it, but it's hard for us to be able to see, because almost like we come into this existence with a blinder on. And so we don't realize that it's in us. So it's a process of discovering, and really at the end of the day, remembering, oh yeah, I was always that.
Yeah.
I was always worthy. Like, I was always
and then when you're on that path, you're like, oh my goodness, like, I have to say, you are unstoppable. Like, you've done so much now. And let's talk about some of the things, especially the beautiful service that you're giving out to the youth. Let's talk about what you've done for because to me, they're our future generation. Like, if we can help them to see their gifts, to feel confident at this age. I was a special education teacher teaching kids with autism. And, I never looked at their disability. It was always beyond the disability. So, I had to teach them what nature was like. I took them out in nature and they felt it. I had a child who was blind. I put the rocks in his hands. He felt it. Didn't matter that he couldn't see, he could feel, right? So when we take our youth and we really help them to embrace what life brings, they then go out, and then it's a ripple effect. So we're creating a better world. So I love, in your video and what you've done. So tell us a little bit about that work. And you wrote the book on all. So tell us about that too. Do you have that book? Because we definitely want to.
Yeah, I do. So this is the children's version of Think and Grow Rich, which was published by the Napoleon Hill Foundation, called The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. And it basically breaks down the 17 principles, because in the original Think and Grow Rich, there are 13 principles. Napoleon Hill went on to expand that to 17 principles and law of success. And so we took all 17 of those principles, broke them down into short rhymed children's stories to be able to help them have that as a foundation in their youth. And so not to have to unlearn things, and relearn things like we have done in our adulthood, but to give them that as a foundation where you understand and can apply these principles in your life. And we find that even parents, they love the book because they're like, Think and Grow Rich is a deep read, and it's a life study book. It's something you want to continue to go back to over and over again. But the way that the principles are shared in the story form in this book makes it even easy for adults to get it and to like understand it like so quickly, to be able to apply those principles. And so I love it because this book is utilized in schools and a lot of different programs. Matter of fact, the Napoleon Hill Scholars through the UVA-Ys, they utilize that book in their program to go out into different youth organizations to be able to help, fuel the future, like to be able to give them what they need now. And so, and it was an answer to Napoleon Hill's request. Like he wanted his principles to be made available to children of all ages. And so we were a part of like making that legacy come to life. And so it's really exciting to be a part of something that is so important, and to be able to give back to the next generation. Like I love kids. I am such a, because I feel like I learn more from them than they learn.
So true. They truly light up they have such a beautiful, innocent way of helping you just, take the pain away, whatever it is, right? It's like they're like your medicine because they have no hatred. They have no, they're not conditioned as much. So they just see the good at first, and they're so, if they can read you, if you're giving them love, it's, they just like a magnet, they'll come to you. And so
like they are so keen on energy and like being able to like feel out about like people. And so like they will be drawn to that really great energy within somebody else. And so, and like I find children like so fascinating because like literally to watch them as they discover things and figure out and or learn how to articulate like what the connections between things are, and like even will make connections that because we've been programmed with a certain way of thinking or whatever, it'll be a new connection or a new way of seeing something. And you're like, whoa, okay, like that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. They're from a whole different mindset. Totally.
Yeah, I love it. So I partner with like a lot of different like youth organizations to be able to go in to do like speaking engagements, like, do like creative vision board, like projects, things in relationship to the book, just empowerment and inspirational type things of being able to like share even my story, because even children, because my molestation happened in my youth, children are dealing with a lot of challenges as well. And so to be able to just be able to be real with them and meet them where they are and have real conversations and offer insight, and knowing that where you are right now is not where you are going to end up. Like this is not the end of the journey or end of the road, and there's light at the end of that tunnel, I think is important. And not even for youth, but even for us as adults,
Absolutely.
With a lot of, even corporate organizations that I'll go into to speak and speaking on stages, because a lot of us have not dealt with our underlying trauma, have not dealt with the things that we have gone through in life. And we just keep bearing it and pushing it down and thinking, oh, this is just the way that I am, or this is just how life has to be. And it's like, no, it doesn't. We get to heal. We get to release these things and come to a place of peace and live the life that we want to live now.
And we're meant to live.
Yes.
So we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back, and we'll have a commercial from my sponsor, Napoleon Hill Institute. We'll be right back, everyone.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people. That we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone. so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
Welcome back, everyone. So, we talk about purpose, having a purpose, finding a purpose. We study that. And, once you understand that part of the purpose is that we're here to serve. We just left off with serving the youth. But you've done so much to help, to inspire people to know that we, like you said before, we have everything we need. Because at the end of the day, we need to help each other. This is how this world gets to be a better place. Is through our interactions, our connections to each other, knowing that we all have something to contribute to this world. Right? And that's when we feel good. That's when we are feeling at our best, is when we know that we can make a difference. But until we believe it, till we feel it, till we practice it and put it into action, this is where we get stuck. So you've done a lot. Where did you start? Where did you start? Tell us, because I didn't even go through your bio. I want you to tell us, how did it all start with you?
Yeah, I live by a motto, and that motto is be proof of what's possible. You had just mentioned about, part of our purpose and what we come here to do is to be of service to each other, to the world, and also to ourselves, because we are a part of that number. We are part of humanity, and everything is a reflection. It's the law of correspondence. As above, so below, as within, so without. And so I came from the school of thought of, people telling you what it is that you need to do. This is how you need to do it. But there was not a lot of follow through, or where that it wasn't practice what you preach. It was just preach and then hear it, and then you do what that person is saying. And so it became really important to me to be proof of what's possible. And so the things that I, talk about, or that things that I share with other people, is because it's things that I am applying within my own life, that I'm out there doing within my own life. And so, my journey has brought me down the path of becoming a 3-time best-selling author. I'm an actress on television and films and television shows, as well as like national commercials. And that was something that I had a passion for. Matter of fact, one of my degrees was in dramatic arts and communications, because I always saw myself like being on television and or really starting in news. And because I would have my little, brush, and I'd be doing my news reports and stuff like that. And I remember even after graduating, I started working at a Fox station, but I was working as a production assistant. I started off in the internship, and then got hired onto the station, and then went into field producing. But I didn't at the time have the confidence to pursue being on camera, because at that time I hadn't done my healing work, and I was still under the false belief that I wasn't good enough. And so I played small in a lot of the things that I went after and pursued, and decided to settle for close to, but less than what I really wanted. And even though that journey still yielded beautiful fruit and a lot of great lessons, but ultimately it was to help me to get to a place where I could build the confidence within myself to actually go after the things that I really wanted, and fully step into my purpose and unleash my gifts into the world. And so after working in news for about 2 years, and every day it was a rape or murder or fire, rape or murder or fire. And I was like, you know what? I was becoming numb to those topics. And I was like, this is not the way I want to feel. about this kind of stuff. So I was like, the news is probably not for me. I was like,
I got some lessons out of this one.
Exactly. And so from there, I was like working with a lot of like independent production companies, producing, different projects and behind the scenes. And I remember there being a project that I was the assistant casting director for AMC, for American Movie Classics. And we were casting commentators for, what was the film? A Long Hot Summer with Joanne Woodward and Paul Newman. It was for an airing of that show. And for being in the room, and we had talent who was coming in all day long and like getting on the mark on the ground and delivering their lines and showing us their personality and things of that nature. And the casting director, when we had taken a break, she was like, Havilah, I really think you should audition for this. And I was just like, at first I was like excited, like this could be my chance, this could be my opportunity, like this is really what I want us to be on the other side of this camera. But then that voice of doubt, which we often hear, that we feel, that comes up for us, that's like, no, like this is not for you, you're not gonna get it anyway. And we will suppress our own opportunity before we get suppressed by somebody else. And so we reject ourselves first. And I would do that a lot. And I was like, no, I was like, we have all these talented people come in, like, we'll find what we need, no problem. And we go on, by the end of the day, like all these people coming in, and she comes to me one more time and she was like, Havilah, I really think you should, audition for this. And I literally had a battle inside my own mind of like, here is an opportunity. This is what you want. No, but you're not going to get it. So why even try? And going back and forth and finally like saying, hush. And okay, like I'll try, like I'll go for it, at least giving it an opportunity.
Right.
And I remember getting on that same X, like just like everybody else had done all day long, and delivering those lines and, being myself. And I remember like we finished, out the day. About 2 weeks passed by and I hear nothing. And so I was like, the doubt, of course, creeps back in. Like, why did you try? Like, what was the point? Because you weren't going to get it. And then I remember getting a call from the casting director and saying, and I'm thinking we're getting a call to like come back and to do another round of casting because we didn't find what we were looking for. And she called me to say that not only had I been cast, but I was the lead commentator for the project. And so it was like this door opened in my mind, in my heart of, no, the thing that you feel called to, and I think we all have a call. We all have something that's whispering to us like, come on, like you're supposed to write that book. You're supposed to get on that stage. You're supposed to go create that program and share that with the world. And when we feel called to something so strongly, it's because it's for us to do, it's within us to do. And so to have that confirmation when I finally got out of my own way, and then to do it, and then do it at such an excelled level. And it was like, okay. And that opened the door of, no, it's not about you not being pretty enough, you not being smart enough, you not being good enough. It's none of those things. You are enough. Just go after the things that you want and get better at whatever the skill set is that's necessary for the job that you're trying to do, or the thing that you're trying to do, but you have it within you to do it. And so that opened a really amazing door, where I ended up, starting to do more things in television. Like I've been on like NCIS New Orleans. I have been on like HBO's Barry, HBO's Insecure. I've had like 4 Super Bowl commercials and multiple like national commercials, and just really amazing opportunities. And then of course, moving over into the executive producing side and utilizing all of those other. And so even the journeys that we go on, even if we are diverted in our path and like we're not going down a straight road, because it's usually never a straight road, even the detours, there are skill sets that are being learned. There are lessons that are being learned that are ultimately there to serve you. Everything in your life is there to serve you, whether you see it or not in the moment, because all of those behind the scenes skill sets that I was gaining in producing and then working in casting and in other departments was helping me to understand production in its totality, so that now I can be on both sides of the camera and understand and be a valuable asset to a project. So it's been a really amazing and roller coaster as well.
Of course. You know, I as you were speaking, I was thinking of like a mansion on this first floor that has all these doors, and you finally opened up one door, you got out, and you're like, okay, whatever it takes, I'm gonna do. And then all of a sudden, all these other doors opened up for you. You know, and now you're on the second floor, you know, even though you had to take the steps maybe or come down a few steps and go back up. But the truth of the matter is you stepped out of your comfort zone is what I'm saying. Right?
Oh, it's so many times. I don't think it happens one time that we get the opportunity to grow, up level, shed a life. And it's like literally shed a life, because I mean I've worked in corporate America like for nearly a decade. I worked for Hewlett Packard. I was a district sales manager managing $160 million technology business when I was like 21, and then went on to be their spokesperson on like the Home Shopping Network and QVC, and like would sell their products on air. I have been married and divorced. You know, I have, you know, I grew up Jehovah's Witness. So I had a very specific, you know, religious upbringing, and, you know, went my own spiritual path as I continue to grow and expand and learn. And, you know, leaving that belief system, I also lost, you know, connection with my family, and was, you know, shunned and excommunicated. And so there's been so many sheddings. There's been so many, you know, things that have happened throughout life that have informed and allowed me the experience of growth and seeing what was possible, and that, oh, actually this did not end me. This did not, you know, like end my life, like this, you know, difficult situation, but there was actually a gift in it. And that opened the door. Talk about being in the mansion with all these doors of opportunity. It opened the door for this next expansion of my consciousness, of my gifts, of my service into the world, and my experience of what life could be. And so I always say this, like, I've lived many lives in this one. Many lives.
And you're going to be living many more lives, because it does not end truly what's possible for you. Like, you have no idea. Tomorrow you leave your home and you drive somewhere and someone says, I need you to do something. And you're like, yeah, really? Me? What can I do for you? And you go on another journey. And I forget who said it. It was like when the child goes, you know, they're going to the beach and they're going to build a castle. It's just the kid has this imagination of it's creating that castle before they actually sit and, you know, the whole fun of it is building. Once it's done, it's like, okay, that's not fun anymore, but it's actually building the castle that makes it so interesting. And that's what we're doing here on Earth, is we're building something to really be who we're meant to be, right? And
it's the journey.
It's
like
the journey. Thank you.
Say that like years ago, I would hear that, you know, life is about the journey, it's not the destination. I'd be like, please, I want to get to the destination. Give me the award.
Are we there yet?
Right, exactly. Give me the happiness, give me the peace, you know, whatever. And then what I realized award after award, check after check, experience after experience, I would get to the goal. And then it'd be like, oh, okay, and it's kind of like, but all of the journey getting there, that's what was exciting, of not knowing what was around the corner, not understanding all the pieces and having to learn something new so that you could really understand and bring everything together, meeting new people and learning their perspectives, and even the things that felt like it was like stressful and all that stuff like that. But that's energy. It is literally energy, and energy moves things forward. If there's no energy, then it'll be stagnant. It's just sitting there, and that is not fun. And so I was like, wow, I finally had the epiphany at some point in my life, and I was like, it really is about the journey. Yes, I'm looking forward to my Oscar. I'm looking forward to my Emmy. I'm looking forward to, my Grammy. I'm actually working on a spoken word album, right now. I'm looking forward to those, beautiful, shiny things. But at the end of the day, it's really the person I'm becoming along the journey of accomplishing that. That's the goal.
And the experience, and the experience that you're having, right? It's like, transforming that energy into the beauty, into the inner gold, as you say, that you're like, wow, this is.
Oh yeah, let me also add on that my Nobel Prize. That
I love it. I love it. On that video, you spoke about collecting Barbie dolls. And I have to tell you, I have a daughter who's 18. She has one. So tell me about that's still in a box, not used, right? I got all the other dolls, but she's got this one birthday doll, Barbie doll, that is not used. So when I saw you have how many?
300, or over 300, actually. Yes. So for probably like a 20-year period, I collected Barbie dolls, and I thought, these dolls are so beautiful. Like, you have dolls from around the world. You have dolls with every career that you could think of. The director Barbie, President Barbie. Like, I mean, just like anything you could think of, there's a Barbie iteration for it, and the gowns that they wear and the outfits that they wear. And I would just think, okay, I am attracted to this, or this is something that appeals to me because of this diversity and the beauty. And I used to keep all of the Barbies in the box, like their collector items, untouched. Even my family would tell my my nieces and nephews, they'd be like, don't even ask her to play with them dolls, because she's not gonna let you play with them. Like she's gonna bring them things to the grave with her. Because they just would stay on display, in their box, because it was like a showpiece, not a play toy. Yes. And what I realized after I started doing my I dove into my personal development and healing journey around 2012. I'd gone to Tony Robbins' UPW, which is Unleash Your Power Within. And matter of fact, I had watched Oprah's special where her and her producer went to UPW, and they had all these tremendous breakthroughs, and Oprah walked on fire. And I was like, one day I'm gonna do that. And it was literally 9 months later, I was at UPW and I walked on fire, and I had my own breakthroughs, and it put me in. I ended up joining Tony's Platinum Partnership, which is a small number of people who travel around the world with Tony and learn directly from him and his close companions. And we just become like this tight-knit, family of very high achievers. And I was around people who thought bigger than I did. And I was like, I didn't even know this stuff was possible. So I know this is like where I need to be, because I need to continue to grow. And in that process, I learned tools like NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and utilizing some of these tools, it started chipping away and breaking through my traumas. And I finally, in 2014, for the first time, broke my silence around being molested, in my youth. And when I broke my silence, my connection with the dolls broke as well. And what I realized was the dolls were actually an anchor for me. And they were this anchor to all these things that I wanted for myself, but I didn't think that I was worthy of. And so the doll was like my tether to those possibilities. And they were safe and clean and untouched inside the box. And that's not what I felt. And so I was able to kind of live that as a surrogate experience through the doll. Like I could keep them safe, even though I didn't feel safe. And so it's so interesting how our minds work and what it does to protect us, the things that we think, oh, it's just this, or oh, my personality is just like that. And it's like, oh, that could actually be a trauma response. That could be you building some protection around yourself to be able to process horrific things that have happened in life. And so once I went on that journey and I understood what those dolls stood for, I ended up creating this organization called Living Beyond the Box. And we did a lot of events, even with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, to be able to raise money for different organizations who support youth and youth education, and especially organizations that help youth who have been abused in some way, shape, or form. So we did this, and actually we have a holiday. It's June 26th is Everybody Loves Barbie Day in Louisiana. So,
really?
Yeah.
I think that's June. It is a national holiday here in New York.
Wait, what's the national holiday?
Junette. This is June 26th. Like schools are closed on that day, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost
okay.
It's a new type of holiday that it wasn't never there. It's just
okay. I know in June, like the big holiday is like Juneteenth.
Yeah, what day is that on? I think that's what I'm talking
I think that's the 19th. I think it's June 19th. I know I need to go.
You may be correct.
Sure. Look.
You know, that's the teacher in me, like, okay, let me see right now.
Yeah.
Google All right, but we can look it up later. But yeah, no, very nice. So you actually made it into a holiday.
Yes. And so we did a high tea, a community service project day, and then we had a pink carpet gala where we had living dolls. So each of our models would come and we worked with a couture designer to create the outfits that looked exactly like the Barbie doll. And then they, walked the runway, and we raised money for these different organizations. And then I'll go, to different other organizations like Boys and Girls Clubs and things like that. And we will, talk about these topics. And I ended up having a museum exhibit, with the Barbie dolls. And it's so cool because actually even now, because I'm now in LA, so I went from LA to the other LA.
Okay.
From Louisiana to Los Angeles. And so what I would love to see happen now with the dolls or with that collection is for it to go on to either a traveling exhibit or just like go on exhibit to be able to help, shed light into that story and the empowerment that can come through, tools of that nature. And then plus having over 300 really amazing dolls to be able to check out would be
beautiful. And I can see how, we study how the imagination is so powerful, right? So you took those dolls and you imagined what could also be possible. Like there was a lesson from those dolls that although it was just a doll, and I just, related to even the dolls I had as a young child. I came here from Italy and we didn't have much. But it was a tough transition. I was about 7 years old. And we were bullied in school, and I didn't speak English, and I changed my name and my identity because I just wanted to be American, and not be alienated because I was Italian, an immigrant. But again, I used a doll. I used my doll to, and I didn't have many, but what I had was help me to feel comfortable, be one with it. And, we use, like you mentioned, we use whatever's around us to cope with what we're going through in order to get by, because we know now that nothing's permanent. Everything is temporary. Right? Everything is temporary. If we can just keep that in mind. I actually got a text today from a friend who showed me a video of somebody saying exactly what I'm saying. So it's like fresh in my mind. But it's true, whatever we are going through, good or bad, it's temporary. It is a lesson we must learn. And then we move on to the next lesson.
Yes. And it's like, in the quicker we can gain control of our own mind in that situation and start to focus on the thing that we want, the outcome that we want, then we start to magnetize that outcome towards us. Like, our past thinking is what has magnetized this current situation that we're in. And so we're dealing with whatever this is, and whatever we think right now is creating whatever the future is going to be. So like, it's almost like having, like, we have to use our imagination, and that, like, our imagination is one of our, like, most brilliant, amazing tools that we have, because we can step outside of, yes, I see everything around me, and everything around me is telling me that the world is on fire, but I can go into my own mind and I can create paradise, and I can live in it, and I can feel it, and it could be just as real, because my mind doesn't know the difference. And so then it will start to attract to me all the elements that on the outside are paradise.
And you know what's funny? Has someone said to me, I'm not going to lie to my mind. And I'm like, but wait a minute. Think of yourself going on a diet, or you want to lose, you want to be 100 pounds, 120, and you're 130. Don't you have to convince your mind that you're going to do it? You're not lying to your mind. You're going to say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds.
You're choosing what to focus on.
That's right. So it's not about lying to your mind. It's about you educating your mind on what you want. Because
it's like, people think that because we live in a three-dimensional world, we live in a physical reality, touch, feel, these things that are around us world, we think that that is what it is. It's not. It's all just vibrating energy. It's all just vibrating frequency. That's all it is. And this vibrates at such a frequency that it seems like it's a table and I get to touch it. So we get to go in our mind and say, you know what? I see a better table, and then you will then come into harmony with the frequency that has that person say, hey, actually, I have this table I'm trying to get rid of, or whatever. It was my grandmother's, China table.
Magic. It's so beautiful. And it's understanding, right? It's getting a level of understanding. And how do we get that? Through studying. Through studying. No one's going to study for you. For the people that say, I hate to read, please change those words, pick up a book and start reading, because the secrets are in the book. Napoleon Hill wrote the 17 Principles of Success because he really there's no difference between Henry Ford and myself. Amen. We are creators, and he learned the secrets to doing and using, one, imagination, being persistent, right? Determination, making a decision. All those principles are part of what we have inside. We just have to tap into it and be committed to ourselves, not to anyone else, but to ourselves. And then when the doors open up for you. But the last thing I want you to talk to us about is how Miss Louisiana Universal. Tell us about that, because that is so beautiful. That's like a little girl's dream to have a tiara. So you did it. So yeah, we have another minute or so before we take it down from a landing, but I want to hear all about it.
Oh my God. So it was in 2017. I had went on my personal development journey. I'm on my healing journey, shifting my belief system about myself, because I never saw myself as someone who was capable of or good enough to do something like that. So it just wasn't even a possibility for me. But I got to the point where new possibilities were opening for me. And so it was 2017. My cousin was in the top 10 of the Miss USA pageant, and watching her journey unfold, it ignited something in me. It sparked something. And I realized I want to go on this journey. This is a desire of mine. I want to wear the crown too. And I was like, I literally get to become my own living Barbie doll. I was like, wait.
I love it.
And I knew nothing about the pageant world at all. And so I dove in and learned all about the pageants and systems. And then in 2018, I ended up being crowned a Miss Louisiana Universal 2018. And so it was a burning desire that became a reality.
Congratulations. And that's how everything does work. If it's a burning desire, you'll do whatever it takes to get that, whatever it is you want. Because if it's in your thoughts, it's yours, right? We say whatever desire is really a gift from God. That's what we say. So, Havilah Malone, I am so honored that you came to visit us today. You are truly...
Just for people to be able to hold it in their consciousness. Yes. If you want to have a lot, Havilah. So it's Havilah. Yeah.
That's right. I love it. I love it. I love it. And how can people get in touch with you if they want to connect with you?
Yeah, you can connect with me on Instagram at Havilah Malone. That's HAVILAH MALONE, or on LinkedIn. You can even email me at ask@havilahmalone.com.
So beautiful. Thank you again for joining us today. And thank you everyone for joining us. And we'll see you next time on Sparking Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartavone. Bye-bye. Thank you, Havilah.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.